All right, welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Insiders. I'm your host, Todd Probasco, mortgage broker at Lakeside Bank here in Chicago. With me today, an old-time friend, Christina Barbaro from Keller Williams. Christina, how are you?
Look at Todd. You got a voice for radio. That was
I,
beautiful.
I got a face for radio too.
I think we all do. Thanks for
Right?
having me today. I appreciate it. I'm excited
Of
to
course.
dive in with you.
Of course. I've been looking forward to this. So for the people who are listening or watching, let's do some fun questions.
Okay.
Number one, nobody, when they're going to school, like I think you and I went to the same school, we're going to put our hand up and said, I'm going to be a realtor or a loan officer. It's like,
That is the truth.
right? Nobody said that. So I guess the question is, how did you get into real estate? It's always a crazy answer that we get from people. So
It's so funny too, because when I meet loan officers and agents that, you get to start having conversation and they've been in the business a while, it's always
you met other loan officers besides me?
There are, only in other states though, not in this area.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They're in Alaska.
Exactly. But the conversation always is, what did you do before? What did you do
Right.
before you got into real estate or being a mortgage lender? So my education, I went to college in Central Illinois, Bradley University in Peoria. I studied food service management. So
Really?
my initial thought was I want to own a restaurant.
Oh my God.
Now,
I love you as a realtor, but I wish you owned a restaurant.
well, every restaurant owner that ever might listen to this is probably like, don't do it.
You know what? Now that you've done this, I'm going to send it to our friend Donna over at Capri. She'll love this.
She's probably going to be like, yeah, right. You think you want
She'll
to
be like, no, come on down and help. She'll be like,
it's the hardest job. I have such respect for anybody in that industry. So after college, I actually started my career in private clubs. So I worked, my first job out of college was Ruth Lake Country Club in Hinsdale.
bougie.
And then I switched over and became the director of catering and event sales for the Chicago Yacht Club, which is smack tab in the middle of downtown, right across from the Bean. Best real estate in the city of Chicago, right on the water.
Oh, yeah.
My office overlooked the skyline, and then I could just walk downstairs and be looking out at the lake.
Amazing.
Awesome. Like truly the best real estate in the city. That's what I always used to say. And that was before I was
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
No, it doesn't. So I did that for like 8 years out of college, and real estate kind of fell in my lap in the midst of all of that.
Okay, so you're working at the Chicago Yacht Club. You're living the life, bougie city. You're a young woman out of Bradley, and you got your job. You're downtown. Again, how do you go from the Chicago Yacht Club to selling real estate?
So I had an opportunity kind of fall into my lap. My dad is a real estate attorney. He just retired last year. My sister took over his practice. Yes, right up the street from us in Palos Hills.
Yeah.
And he had a client at the time. This was in 2017.
Okay.
He had a client at the time who bought a house sight unseen online auction. And naturally, his wife was like, what are you doing? You can't do that. So she got mad at him, and he said, hey, Joe, my dad is Joe, I need to cancel this contract. I can't buy this property.
Okay.
So Joe and I put our heads together and said, hey, we'll buy you out of your contract and we'll get you your earnest money then when the deal is over, so you don't lose that $5,000 or whatever it was. So we took the contract from him. He assigned it to us. We went through with the sale. My dad bought the property, and then I think I was 28 at the time.
Okay.
My deal, part of the deal was I paid for then the renovation. So he bought the property. I handed the check over to the contractor. And at the time, I'll never forget it, it was about 95% of what I had in my whole savings account. And the bank called me and said, hey, did you write this check?
Thanks, Dad.
Yes, I did. It's legit. Go for it.
Are you draining your whole account? We want to make sure that you want to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Are you sure? And so, yeah, we did that. It was my first ever insight into real estate at all. I was totally clueless outside of renting an apartment in college, through college, and then after college in the city. So I
Right.
had no experience on buying or selling at all. He obviously did. So I had a great first partner, right?
Right.
So we buy this and it became just a thing. Every Sunday we would go to the property and just check on the progress. And we had a great contractor, which is huge. I'm sure you know. My dad did a lot of work for him in his own flips. So there was already a relationship there. And he kind of just had that copy paste blueprint down on what a flip, should be. And he went in there and did what he thought was right. So we really didn't have much to even tell him to do. I mean, it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo. It was very small. It wasn't a major rehab. He maybe added some can lighting, but for the rest was pretty much cosmetic.
Okay.
We would check on it every week. And then I think it took us about 7 weeks to do the rehab, but
Okay.
it took us about 6 months total to sell it because I was a FSBO. I was a for sale by owner. I said, Dad, I know we could sell this without using an agent. And I was not licensed at the time. So he said, okay, I'll give you 3 weeks to try to sell it on your own. And if we can't, then we're gonna list it with an agent. So
Okay.
I held 2 open houses. I had a couple, people that were interested, but she could never, reel them in because I don't know what I don't know. I have no idea whether they've even talked to a mortgage lender or not.
Right.
So we ended up listing it with the realtor. Our first deal fell apart about a month into it. So we were already pretty far along in the transaction. And then it took us another 2 weeks. But at that point, then we had multiple offers the second time around. So we were able to drive that price up a little bit. And long story short, we didn't make a ton of money. I think I walked away with $4,200.
Okay.
But I mean, the experience was, priceless. I gained a lot of knowledge throughout that. And honestly, when my clients that have never done it come to me and say, hey, I want to be a flipper, I'm like, do a condo.
Right.
The risk is so much smaller. You're not worried about putting a new roof on anything. You're not worried about a leaky basement. None of that is on your responsibility. It's a small risk and you're going to learn a lot in the process. And you might be able to pull a little bit of money out of it, but you'll pull more in experience for sure.
Crawl, walk, run, limit your liability.
Right.
And with your experience, and then, I take it that, God, you're 28, you're buying this condo with your dad on this flip. You're like, what am I doing? And 6 months into it, all of a sudden, thank God we're closing. I made $4,200. Let me guess, that got you excited. Like, if I can go through this.
I was like, I can do the realtor that we hired. He's a great guy. He taught me a lot. He helped me tremendously when I then became an agent down the line. But he used my photos that I had taken as I'm like, I can do this. I know I can do this. And I truly think that, anyone can do this.
Right. You already had the real estate lawyer.
Yeah. It's about who you have on your team.
I closed a lot of deals with your dad. And it's so cool that you had that experience because you lived it instead of saying, I want to do this. You were actually, I always say it's like the goldfish. Either you're the goldfish in the bowl or you're standing out looking at the goldfish. In this scenario, you started in real estate as the goldfish because you felt the stress. You felt why a FSBO doesn't work. You felt time is money, right? Every day that goes by, the clock is ticking. It's costing you money while it's sitting there.
That is it. Every day is money out of your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Taxes, and then you're in an association, so we had association dues on top of, just your regular.
Time is money. There's that old saying, time is money, but in real estate, it's really money. So
it really is 100%. Yeah. I learned so much during that experience and I'm grateful for it for sure.
Okay,
Definitely not something that everybody has.
Right. You took 3 college courses in 6 months.
Yeah, literally.
Right?
Literally.
All right, let's fast forward. You close the deal, you make your $4,000. And let me guess, Dad, that was great. I think I want to get my real estate license.
Yep. That's
Is that
exactly
is
what
that-
happened.
And
So,
what did Dad say after
well,
25 years of doing closings?
Mom actually was formerly a realtor before me and my sister were born. So she
Oh, I
didn't
didn't
do
know
it.
that. Okay.
She didn't do it like while we were growing up. So I didn't have necessarily that connection to it, you know, in my head with her. But she told me my whole life that I should be a realtor. And I'm like, nah.
No, I'm going to go get a boozy job at a country club or a yacht club.
And now the only thing I regret is not doing it sooner.
There you go.
You
There's the Christine I know.
There we go, Mom. You were right.
Mom,
Public.
you're right. And now
Putting
look at
it out
you.
there.
Mom, look at me now. All right. So you put your hand up. You say, I'm going to go get my license. So you're still working at the Chicago Yacht Club and you go to real estate school. You knock that out, I'm sure, after knowing you. I'm sure that probably took a month. You get your license. Now you didn't quit the yacht club right away, did you? And go cold turkey?
So I actually did.
You
However, yes,
Okay.
I did. I quit working and then took the course.
You quit before you passed.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you are an A+ performer. Okay.
I locked myself in my parents' basement. My cell phone was upstairs and nowhere in sight. And I just read that book cover to cover. It took me 2 weeks to do that. And this was before COVID, when everything
Right.
like went online.
Right.
So after you passed the, book part, you had to do 5 weeks in person. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. And it wasn't every day.
You know
It
what?
was,
You're
a
right.
couple
For our
times a week.
mortgage license, we did have to go to classes.
Yeah,
Once a
it wasn't
month.
every day, but there was like a 5 weeks, maybe once or twice a week for a
Like
few
at
hours.
night, a couple nights a week.
At night, yes,
It
exactly.
was painful, I remember.
So I had to do that, and that after you took that, then you could take the test. So I think
Okay.
it took me like 2 months total, but then I passed the test, and then right around that time, I had an old coworker from the yacht club say, "Hey," she had left. Say, "Hey, I'm at my new job, and we just need a part-time somebody to help." And I'm like, "Perfect.
Right.
I can part-time help you. I could part-time do real estate." And I worked for her for 3 years before
Really?
before I felt comfortable going full-time into real estate.
Nice.
So
And how old were you when you went full time? How long,
I think that
where
was
were you at in life?
2022.
22 when you went full time?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. So I would have been
gotta tell
32,
you,
I think.
you've done phenomenal. I watch your work and you're doing great. Your marketing is fantastic, and I'm sure your clients love you. So
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's hard.
Good. It is hard. I mean, you and I are kind of in the same boat, and we got to do what's right for people, and we live on referrals. And if you work hard, you got to work harder than most people think. And one, you got to get a lead, take good care of them, because one turns to two, two turns to four. But if you're not doing that, I always say this game is called NFL, and that doesn't stand for the National Football League. It stands for not for long. Right. Because
Yeah,
it's
tough.
hard. It's a tough business. Okay, so let's move to where we're at today. Here we are, September of 2025. I think we both can agree we've kind of weathered the storm here for the last year or so, with the jump in rates and the turbulence in the bond market and the uncertainty that some of the media and politics have created. Good news is last week rates went down a little bit. We're starting to see things level, which I think is good for everybody. These ups and downs just scared people, and one day the rate's 7, the next day it's 6 3/4, then it's back to 7, and people are like, "Time out, man! I want no part of this." The only people buying are the ones who had to. The other thing I want to talk about, because you're in that age group of people who want to think that there's 3% was a norm, which I got to tell you, not even close to a norm.
I know.
Today, right now, we're quoting 6.375 for a 30-year fix and no points. For those of you listening or watching, that is still way below the average for the last 50 years. So these young folks who have been adults for less than 10 years, who saw rates go to 2.75, they have that in their head that,
Mhm.
oh my God, 6.3, you're out of your mind. That's crazy high. Are you starting to see people accept the sixes and know that that's the norm? That's what it is. It's not going to go crazy like COVID. And I should start thinking about what I want to do in real estate. Why don't we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, there are people that have to move, right?
Yep.
That don't have a choice for whatever reason. Okay. So, and you know that, and that's just life. And they might, they don't have a choice. They have to accept that. But I think last year, so 2024, right? I closed 18 buy sides.
That's awesome.
And I think, and then the rest was at 29, I think I had 29 listings or something around those numbers. And this year, I think I'm at like 12 buy sides for the year. So I'll probably end up right around the same for that. And I'm just one person, right?
Right.
So every other agent that's out there working with buyers, like they know it is what it is what it is. You can't get around it. So and now even my buyers that bought in like November of 22, 23 was when they were at like 8.
When they spiked.
Yes. Those people, I have people that have already refinanced twice.
Really?
Yes.
I just had one yesterday. She closed November 20th of 23. I forgot her rate. Christina, it was 7.75.
Yeah, I had an 8.1 at that time.
Did you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? The loan was like $390. By refining today, we dropped her payment like $400 a month. Isn't that awesome?
It's such a good feeling.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a good feeling.
So, that's good because that creates activity, right? There's people who have not sold that need to sell for whatever reason because they don't want to give up the low rate.
Right.
There's people who didn't buy because they think rates are going to go lower. But I think if we both agree, this mid sixes, if we go to low 6, it's going to create a little bit of a flurry where people go, it's good. That's where we're at. I'm going to make a deal. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. And so I bought my house June of 22.
Okay.
So this is like the first rate hike we had after the 2s. Okay. So like my brain had been programmed at that 2.5%, 3% now for 2 to 3 years.
Right.
And so I was all bummed out when I bought my house and I got a 5.1. But going then, through the last couple of years after I had purchased, seeing where it went, I was like, oh my God, I could never have afforded my house now, but I'm so grateful to have that 5.1.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know if I'll ever be able to refinance. I don't know if I'll ever go lower, but
I'll call you if you can. No, I'm just kidding.
but I'm just like so grateful that I even have that, you know?
Exactly. All right.
So it could be worse.
All right. All right. Let's talk about what you're working on these days. You're a rock star. You do the quick math based on what you're talking about. You're closing at least 3 deals a month. That's phenomenal, especially in this market. You work out in the southwest suburbs where you and I live. It's a great area. As you and I both know, those people listening in Chicago, Payless is a hot spot right now because what was that thing that came out last year that our school district won the blue ribbon or something like that? The grade schools?
I don't even know. I didn't know that.
So you got all these young people with kids that want to jump to where you and I live. It's wooded. It's nice.
That's what I love about it.
A lot of cool things. We got the plush horse if you want.
I can still get downtown like on a good day, obviously, if there's no big accidents or anything in 35 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got a few ways we can go.
Yeah. We got options.
Yeah. We got a great area. So, but let's just talk about what you're working on these days. Talk about like some of the deals you're working on, and maybe also, as you talked about wrapping up 2025, have you thought about some goals for next year?
Yeah. So my goal is always to maintain. I don't ever want to go lower than what I had done.
No.
Right. But I also don't want to like be hard on myself and set these crazy unrealistic goals. So I'm pretty realistic with what I do. My goal is always to maintain. What I'm working on now, so typically I've been trending in a certain way the last couple of years. The earlier half of my year is always buyer heavy. So now I'm getting into like I'm listing heavy, and for whatever reason, I cannot explain this, December is historically my strongest month.
Okay.
Makes no sense, right? Everyone's like, no one's doing real estate in December, but the last 2 years I closed like $3 million
Love
in
it.
real estate in December, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I have good Decembers too. I don't know why.
that means most of those things might have been under contract, like, October,
Yeah, in
maybe
the fall.
November. So, the activity actually was happening earlier and the closings just happening December, but it's strange when you think about it. But what I'm working on now is I do have a lot of listings now in the pipe. There was a little bit of a lull, I think, when school started, like right before those few weeks. And now
Okay.
those people that we're kind of pushing off are calling, and we're scheduling the photographers and whatnot for the next couple of weeks. The other thing I'm focusing a lot on is inbound referrals, specifically from other agents throughout the country.
Okay.
So I actually have a really great group of agents that are vetted, that I've vetted and trust, and they're kind of like one in every major city, if you will. So I network with them daily. We talk daily. We do monthly trainings together. So what I'm working on now is kind of putting together a guide for the people that are moving to our area from out of state.
I love that. What a great idea.
Yeah. So I just want to, I love Chicago. Like, truly, it is the greatest city on planet. We have everything.
I agree 150%.
We have everything you could ever imagine. Yes, it's cold, but it gives you the opportunity to like be in a sweatpants all day and sit at home,
And we get to change the season.
So it's a good excuse for that.
Right.
So yeah, I've been working I have a great team of graphic designers and brand designers. And if anybody ever needs help, I happily refer them. They're amazing, and they're helping me put together a step-by-step what to do, what to look for. Do you have kids? Do you have pets? Are you into outdoor recreation? Something for everybody in the city and then the surrounding suburbs. So that's what I'm working on now to hopefully, help our people that are moving into the area.
So you got your regular buys and sells, and you got this reload network you've created with, because I know a lot of, you and I cross paths with clients that are coming into Chicago, right? And we kind of forget about that, but we are a major city.
We are.
A lot of people reload here for work. So you're going to have your Ohio's, your Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa, those kind of people.
Yep.
If they finish with school, they get that big job, then they need to buy a house in Chicago, right?
Yeah. And I have family that commutes from Wisconsin to the city. It's a 1 hour Amtrak ride.
Interesting.
And that's, you're thinking locally, but we also, I think, have to think of Chicago as a tech hub at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We have Google, we have LinkedIn, we have Facebook. The McDonald's is downtown, which I think I just read, and I could be wrong on this. I think I just read that they might not be downtown much longer. We'll have to follow up on that. But
right.
We have Boeing as well. We have huge companies, and with the rising rents and situations in the larger states like California and Florida, situations with their insurance costs and things like that, and I guess what could be considered, mild nature of weather here, like we can attract a lot of great talent, and even talent that might work for a tech company in San Francisco, but doesn't need to necessarily live there.
I think you're going to end up on a commercial. Why Illinois?
I'm for it.
There you go.
I'm for it.
Yeah, I do loans in all 50 states. Of course, we get people who leave Illinois,
Sure.
Sometimes they go to Arizona, they go to Florida, maybe when they get older. But what's funny? I had a client that went to Florida a couple of years ago, and now they're a reverse reload. they don't want to be in Florida anymore. They want to come back here.
Interesting. Did they tell you why? Were they specific?
Kind of some of the things you just talked about, insurance costs, HOA costs.
Yeah.
It sounded great, right? To sell the place in the suburbs and go buy a place in Florida. But then the family's here. It's a little bit crazy what's going on in Florida right now. And they thought about it and they're like, we can always visit Florida, but we want Chicago to be our home.
100%. Before North Carolina had all of the flooding,
Yeah, a
last
couple
year,
years
2 years
ago.
ago? Yeah. I had 3 clients in 1 year relocating to North Carolina,
Wow.
more so over Florida. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. You're the 3rd person who's told me, hey, I'm selling my house and moving to North Carolina. Like before that, North Carolina wasn't even on my map. I'm like, I don't know. People are going to Indiana and Florida, maybe Arizona.
Okay.
So
well, I can tell you this, anybody listening or watching, if you're thinking about buying or selling in the Chicagoland area, this lady is somebody you should call. She's got this relo thing too. So if you're thinking about moving out of state or someone who wants to move to Chicago, she could be a good contact. And on that note, like I mentioned earlier, I lend in all 50 states, which kind of makes it easy for people. If you are doing a relo, I can help with that also. But we're going to try to wrap it up here. I got to tell you, this was enjoyable. I don't want it to be our only one, so hopefully we'll do another one. But Christina, you're a rock star. Do you have any parting words you want to say to anybody who might be listening?
Well, I think if you are even considering it, knowledge is power, right? So even if it's not going to be tomorrow, if you are thinking about buying, selling, or investing, start having the conversations now. And so that you are prepared for whatever process that you want to go through when the time is right. And that there will be a time, and the process, I think I tell my clients this, it's scary no matter who you are. Like anytime you do it, it's like, this is a risk because it is, if the world goes to crap tomorrow, we're all going down. Right. But people do this every day, and some people do it multiple times a day. Buy and sell and transact homes. So if they can do it, you can do it. You just have to get as much education as you can. Start the conversations now. Right.
And I think what you're also alluding to is it can be scary. It's scary even for those of us in the business when we're going to do our own.
It is scary. Yeah. No doubt.
You got to have the right team around. And I heard a saying from somebody who's like one of those famous speakers in real estate. It's real easy to look at this horse online, like this thoroughbred that looks great. Everything online looks so great with certain companies, right? But you shouldn't look at the horse. You should look at the jockey. And guess what? Christina and Todd are the jockey.
Love it.
And, right? We're going to take it from start to the finish line. It's real. There's a lot of stuff on the internet, and I hate to use that phrase, too good looks too good. There's a reason why it looks too good.
Right.
I think you need to find someone licensed that you can do one of these with, have a conversation with, somebody who can understand what your needs are, listen to what you're saying, and then make it happen. And then look out for your best interest, because that's what we're supposed to do. So
100%. Yep. And like you said, one of these, I typically, any buyer that I work with, we do one of these before we even meet in person.
Love it.
Buyers specifically. Sellers, I usually go to them because I need to see, what I'm working with, what they're selling. But yeah, any buyer, we do our initial consult via Zoom. It's 20 minutes to a half hour, kind of just depending on how many questions they have. But I walk them through that entire process visually, and then also tell them I'm going to hold your hand as we actually go through this,
You're amazing. All right. Well, I've totally enjoyed this, and I hope people who are listening and watching appreciate your time, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I wish you nothing but the best of luck. I hope we continue to work together and see each other. And on behalf of me and the Real Estate Insider Podcast, Christina Barbaro from Keller Williams, thank you for joining us. I will have your contact info listed at the bottom for anybody who needs to reach out and contact us. And I wish you the best of luck and have a great day.
You too. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This was a blast.
Thanks.